Welcome to my channel. I'm Zhangjing Xu. Let's work on the problem 2 in chapter 5. In this one, we need to distinguish the static friction and the mechanical friction. So the first one asks you to find a coefficient for static friction. So for static friction, we need to consider the box and the floor is just stationary. They just have the tendency to move, right? And for the coefficient for kinetic friction, there is a motion between the box and the floor. The acceleration is given. Therefore, first we do the force analysis. We see what happens there. It tells us we have a box. We know the mass, so we can know the gravity. And then we know the normal force. So there is a force acting on it by person, right? We call it 35 newtons. And also we need to consider the friction. In first cases, it tells us the box and the floor is stationary because we need to find the coefficient for static frictions. It is just stationary. It is so we need to consider Newton's second law. It is stationary, acceleration is 0, so the force is balanced. In this one, we can find in the vertical component we have a normal force minus the gravity equals 0. And then in horizontal component, it is just the force by person minus the friction equals 0. And there, we consider this friction as the static friction, so we consider the coefficient for static friction, mu s times the normal force. In this one, we can just input the friction inside, we get the function look like that. In this way, we can find the mu s coefficient for static friction by the Fp divided by mass times the g, gravity. The next one we consider the object and the box. The box and the floor has the motion and the acceleration is given. In this one, we need to consider this fraction becomes the kinetic fraction, right? So we need to write Newton's second law in the vertical component. It's balanced, so normal force minus the gravity equals 0. But then, look at the horizontal component. We have the force by the person minus the fraction equals mass times acceleration. The acceleration is given. And then, this fraction is mu k times the normal force. This k tells us it is kinetic fraction. And then, we input these functions. And then, we find the mu k equal to in the Fp minus ma divided by the gravity in these terms. If we input the numbers, do the calculation, we find the final answer. The static friction coefficient is 0.6, the kinetic friction coefficient is 0.53. Thank you.